right. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Okay, so I've got a great message for you today that I am really hoping just opens you up to the next level. And it's this conversation around, instead of looking at our lives as settling for a transaction, look at how do you create transformation. I'm wearing this shirt right now that says barrier breaker. It's funny because this was our last zone event. We sold these shirts, and like everybody in my company loves them. We love them because it reminds us on who we actually are, who our identity actually is. So, what inspired me to bring this up is just the last 2 weeks, I have seen so many great people really working towards, creating goals, aspirations, hitting it big before the end of the year, putting in the effort. And for the most part, I've seen incredible attitudes while doing this. Of course, there is some people who are feeling a little defeated. Who's feeling a little defeated right now? Go put defeated in the chat so that I can see it, right? And so I want to see that. Who are my people feeling defeated? And who are my people who are feeling like it's time to celebrate? Put the word celebrate. For you guys who are feeling like it's time to celebrate, put celebrate. And the reason why this is important to see between the two is because we are all always facing challenging times. But the way we look at it through either a transformation or a transaction will determine whether or not you feel defeated or you feel like you're celebrating. Celebration is like, I'm gonna walk with you guys a little bit because I'm on my phone today. But celebration is like, I'm just proud of myself that I actually took a stand and went out there and did a Facebook Live. I'm celebrating myself because, maybe you are scared to make an offer and you finally did. And whether or not somebody bought or didn't buy, the fact that you did it is just a huge celebration. Do you see the difference between this? When I am in a mentality of winning, then I notice the things that are working. And when I notice the things that are working, I can actually stand in my power to create a purpose. And so that's the whole message that I want to bring today. I want to bring this conversation around get out of settling for transactions. Like get out of that in your life and start looking at how, like if you want something to work, okay, let's just take sales or enrollments. You're entrepreneurs, right? Am I talking to business owners here? Yes or no? Right? Am I talking to business owners here? Yes or no? Okay. So Brandy's like, yes. Right. So I need to see your engagement to even know that if I'm landing my communication. Okay. So as an entrepreneur, like you have no business if you have no sales. Right. But what if you looked at sales like more from, and you've probably heard this before, more from a service standpoint. Now, isn't it annoying when somebody says that? Because you're like, yes, of course I'm serving. That's why I picked the topic that like the transformation that I'm helping people with. But I guarantee that if you're not enrolling people, I'm going to tell you that when you get in front of a prospect, somebody that you can actually make a difference for, what ends up happening is you end up moving into a transaction. If you feel bad when someone doesn't buy, then I'm telling you there is some level of transaction, some level of like your identity is actually getting wrapped up in making a difference. So think about somebody that you really love. Okay, so everybody has this person in their life. I can think of two right now that I really love them, two girls, two girlfriends. And, it's so easy for us to see our friends' blind spots. Am I right? Is it easy to see like the person you love's blind spot? Where you've given them advice or you've stood for them. You told them they should probably not be in that relationship, or maybe they need to hire a relationship coach, or maybe it's time to invest in your business, or maybe it's time to, get leadership help, or, instead of you holding like everything on your back, it's time to, like, people say delegate, but delegation still means that you're still the leader and you're the person who still has to make all decisions. I'm going to say, if you feel like you need to delegate, no, you probably need to build leaders around you, which is very different than delegating. My point is it's really hard for us to get ahead when we're being the friend that we've given a lot of advice to, and they actually still haven't taken it. I know that's a bit of an ouch, right? But when you stop and you go, it's easy to look at your friend who you adore and you've given them advice and you feel frustrated because they haven't taken it. But let's have an honest moment right now, because when you have an honest moment and you can unleash the thoughts of guilt or shame or even like thinking you should be further ahead by now. See, all of that is in a scarcity mindset. And a scarcity mindset will not give you the energy that you need to build. Can you hear me right now? Is this landing? And so just think about it from common sense. If you had somebody following you around telling you all the things that you didn't do good enough, you didn't do right, you screwed that up, your sales conversation was this, they didn't buy from you because of this, right? Then it's all about you. And I swear to you, if you can get this, I am pretty sure that you could have, put it this way, I've seen my clients do 10,000, 100,000 in a weekend. I've seen people that have gone from struggling to transformation thinking and have literally filled their bank accounts like inside of a couple weeks. Like, you don't have to go without, but you are the common denominator. And the way you lead it, like I was talking to someone today that said, they were analyzing when they were talking to customers and clients. And this is someone who's biblical, somebody who loves God, somebody who you'd think the come from real, the core is good. But when this person was going to sell and enroll, what was happening is that they were thinking, I didn't get the person across the line. Right? And so just that thinking alone, what is that? Transformation or transactional? Just tell me, transformation or transactional? Listen to my language. I didn't get that person across the line. Transactional. Okay, so this is big because it's a blind spot, and blind spots will steal your bank account. Okay, so your bank account is a representation of how many people you've actually helped. It's not a representation on whether you're good or bad. It's not. It's how valuable have you been? This is the painful one. Your bank account is not a measurement of how hard you've worked. It's actually a measurement of how valuable you are, which means how effective, write this down, how effective you actually have been. It's effectiveness. And so think about somebody in your life that you have been instrumental with, somebody that you've given advice to and they've taken it, or they do take it on a regular basis. Who is that person for you? Comment who that person is, right? Who is that person? Is it your daughter? Is it your best friend? Is it somebody at work? Who's the person? Okay, Curtis, my daughter, my best friend, my friend Steven, my son, my best friend. Okay, my BFF. Okay, so this is good. So you're showing yourself. Then if you're not commenting, you're like, don't be a wallflower. Because wallflowers don't lead. They say things like, I don't want to step on people's toes, right? Don't be too good for commenting or being in the game. Like, listen, this is about you really getting out there and having some things come together at an even more effective level than possible. So now think about, you are showing yourself, you guys who actually engaged, you're showing yourself that you are capable of being really effective. So I'm going to recommend that you actually print. Like now on Facebook, Instagram, all these places, we can actually find people's pictures, right? Print a picture. So don't put clients, put a specific client, right? Who are you specifically? I have lots of clients, but I'm not effective with every client. I'm really effective with certain clients, right? And so awesome. I see you guys putting names down. Good. So now get a picture of that person and put them up on the wall. And the reason why I say that is because when you're, doing a Facebook Live and maybe you're going to make an offer, like I'm actually going to make an offer for you guys, not to give anything to me, but I am committed to filling 3 moving trucks filled with toys for little children, underprivileged children that, otherwise are not going to have a gift under the Christmas tree this year. And normally I do this at my zone events, and we filled 2 moving trucks at my last zone event. And I want to fill 3 moving trucks. Who's with me? Who's willing to help me on this? Say me. if you're willing to help me on this. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Kip. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, John. Thank you. I mean, I'm going to just thank you. So like this would be an offer. Like your offers are not always your products. It's about leadership. It's about when you see that something's in need. Like I see these children and like, it's like I've gone and given them their gifts. I mean, we have gone and shopped in Walmart and filled the entire place in Walmart. And by the way, when you donate, I'm going to match your donations right now. So even if you can like send this live to people and get them to donate, like all of this is helping us really make a bigger difference. I'm going to tie this back around to you and your friend that you have influence with and how to really tie this around. Because I think that you're making business, charitable causes, raising children. I think we make all of these things that we care about so much more difficult. I know I did for a really long time until I figured out the secret, which we're going to talk about in a second. So first of all, Suzanne, would you mind dropping the Heartcore Gives link? You guys, I started a nonprofit called Heartcore Gives. There is no fees to it. We give 100% of the money to, like, I pay all the fees for the nonprofit from my business side. And so if you go to heartcoregives.com, Suzanne, if you could drop that link, that would be awesome. And also make sure it's dropped on Facebook. If you go to heartcoregives.com and you donate, like today, right now, whatever, I'll match the funds, and I'm going to give that money to Toys for Tots, and I'm going to look to fill 3 moving trucks. And my friend Angie Lee and I are both giving away business packages, programs, and stuff like that for free for people who donate. So she's giving away her training on how to figure out who your niche is. So go to heartcoregives.com and just give. So now let me wrap this around. So the friend that you, or the person that you give advice to, that you are highly effective, I want you to print out their picture, or the client or whoever you put down. I want you to print out their picture and I want you to put it up on your wall. And then I challenge you to go out today and either have an enrollment conversation, or like, I'm telling you, like, there's so many people who need you, but when you're thinking about making money, you're not thinking about transforming. Like when I'm thinking about helping the kids in Toys for Tots, and the reason why I'm like, not only should you donate, but you should send it to 3 of your friends. Why? Because I have a vision of 3 moving trucks. I don't have a vision of me making money. Now, how does that, that's right, transformation. How does that like go back into, let's say if I was making an offer for my products or services? It's the same heart. It's the same heart. If you put your identity or your focus, I call it short-sighted focus. If you put it on, if I don't sell 10 people or whatever, then I can't eat, or I'm good or I'm bad, or I'm going to set these New Year's resolutions, or how about the end of the year goals, right? And I don't hit them. The only reason why you didn't hit them is because you were operating in some level of transaction. And that becomes about you, and it will cut your energy in half, if not dwindle it away to nothing. What makes you feel inspired to get up in the morning is not as hard as you think. It's actually having a vision like 3 moving trucks, right? And so like in my business, I literally, like right now in our coaching department, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, all my coaches and I got together and we said, whether we're training online or we're training with our customers and clients, we're calling it a financial quarter. And so like, I was just on with my coaches a few days ago, and they were like, because it's the financial quarter, here's all of our clients that are breaking through financially. This person made 50,000. This person sold their first customer or client. This person had a $10,000 month. This person got in front of 40,000 people to speak. You know what I mean? Like crazy things that are happening because I set the vision for our coaches to cause people. Thank you, Mavis, for donating to Heartcore Gives. But I set the vision for our coaches to make sure that our clients are focused on financial, like their best financial quarter of the year. And that's our standard. We're like, imagine if our clients had the best financial quarter they've ever had, like in their business as a business owner. And so thank you, Mel, for donating. I appreciate you. Okay, so you want to look at that. You want to go, what is your, thank you, Kip. What is your vision? What's your vision on your business side? What's your vision between now and the end of the year? And often our vision is like, well, I want 10 new clients. Yeah, but that is not inspiring. It's transactional. And so I bet if you just take my advice on this and you start thinking, well, you know, it's like my girlfriend, I have a girlfriend who we were doing a telesummit this year, and you know, she builds schools in Africa. And because she has a vision of like each person being responsible for a village, it's much easier to get people like me or people like you to step up and to commit to a vision like, you know, building a well or building a school or building a village, and be responsible for going to your friends and getting them to step up. Right? It's like, you got to get a vision. People follow leaders who have vision. You know, if you're scripture based, it says my people will perish without a vision. Right? And if you're not scripture based, you're just spiritual, then it's like, listen, you think about visualizing and exercising your imagination. The problem is nobody told you that it wasn't about you. See, you're part of the ripple effect. Your blessing is part of the ripple effect of what you build. But you won't have the energy if you're thinking transactionally, because what's going to happen is you're not going to feel good enough because the buck stops with you. You want to become a builder. You guys, have you been hearing me talk a lot about builders lately? You want to become a builder, which requires you to know what you're building that is past you. That is past you. So I have a vision that we fill 3 moving trucks for Toys for Tots for little children. That these children, that thank God a company like Toys for Tots stepped up and said, we're going to dedicate our life to helping these children. And I'm saying you and I get to be a part of that. If you would bless like these children with me, and I will mix my money with your money, and I will match whatever it is that you donate. But don't just stop with you. Go to 3 of your friends, send them this live if they're an entrepreneur, because they get entrepreneur gifts. And if they're not an entrepreneur, just send them to hardcoregives.com and just tell them to donate, because I'm matching funds right now. But my point is that this is the way we need to operate. And we need to help each other, because you know what? When you donate to Hardcore Gives, guess what? I know who you are. I see your name. And then what does that do? When you message me, I'm more inclined to support. Why? Not because you donated, but because I saw your heart. Because now, thank you, Lorna. But because now we have a deeper relationship, because you got behind something that I think is important, because I've always had a heart for Christmas and I've always had a heart for children. And so now it's like, now your name gets put up. Now this, I'm going to do more lives about this, but this is like something I'm being really intentional with our client base right now. We don't build into our friendships, our client bases. We don't build into our relationships enough. And, you know, like your success is going to be one powerful person away that knows your name. It's not important on who you know. It's important who knows your name. You guys who donated with us today at Hardcore Gives and who share this with your friends, we know your name. And that does make a difference. And think about that from people you might be taking for granted in your life right now that maybe do know your name, but your name isn't at the level of integrity or reputation that you want it to be at. So then, now let me circle this whole thing around. So then when you have a cause or a campaign that you care about, that you want extra help, it's tough when you can't go to your mastermind, and don't get me started if you're not in a mastermind, but it's tough when you can't go to your mastermind, or you can't go to your contact list and ask people to get behind something because you haven't spent enough time building that relationship. And building that relationship doesn't mean that you have to spend like 4 hours a week doing it. It means like this morning, I sent a friend of mine an article I thought they would like. I also sent a text message to somebody else saying, just checking in on you. I know that you've been sick. I just want to make sure that you and your son are okay. It's just checking in with people and being a good Samaritan that you want the world to be. It doesn't take a lot of time to do that. My friend Randy always says, build your well before you're thirsty. That's exactly this. Influence comes from who you're being, and you can't fake being a good person. I think all of us are good people, but I think, at least for myself, I was even thinking this morning, how could I be an even better person to you, an even better person to my husband, an even better person to my son? And I'll end on this. One of the things we implemented in our family is Wednesday fun days. At 5 o'clock, we do family fun days. Why? Because we're building into our relationship with our family, not just our son, but with our family. Fridays, give me your little toy. Fridays, she's like, I want my toy. Fridays, my husband and I do a marriage hike together, right? And we do it at 7 o'clock in the morning. And so what are we doing there? We're building into our marriage. Often we put so much pressure on ourselves that we feel like we need to get into the transaction of building a marriage, the transaction of a business meeting, the transaction of a webinar, the transaction of selling. And as long as you operate like that, you will be exhausted. So for you guys who jumped on with us for Hardcore Gives, thank you so much for donating. Please, 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 talk to a couple people, text them this live, share this live, and everybody else, here's to having a great end of the year. We got 2.5 months till the end of this year. Can you believe it? 2.5 months, and 2.5 months is still a long time. So let's create an incredible result. Let's create an incredible result with your business, with your impact, with your authority. And I would love to hear your success over even the next couple weeks. So much love. Thank you, Lisa, for giving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys next Thursday. Bye. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.